PFC McLyman was quite simply the best Oregon and our nation has to give. If I was asked to describe Erin in one word, the word I would choose is warrior. She began her service in the Air Force and then moved on to the United States Army, where she was assigned to the 292nd Brigade Support Battalion, 3rd Stryker Brigade Combat Team. Women, we are often told, do not serve in combat. This, of course, is wrong. When you are exposed to mortar attacks in a country that has been a war zone for 8 years, you are a warrior in combat. Every bit as tough, every bit as courageous, every bit as prepared, and every bit as targeted by the enemy as the next soldier standing next to you, regardless of gender. Perhaps Erin's father said it best when he remarked, "If the guys were doing it, she'd do it. She'd do it twice as good just to prove a point." I didn't know Erin personally, although I have to tell you, after learning about her, I truly wish I had. It would have been a great privilege for me to spend time with this heroic young woman who loved working on cars and whose commitment to duty, honor, and country has touched and inspired people across Oregon. I very much count myself among those who have been inspired by Erin's short but powerful and consequential life. By her own admission, she made mistakes when she was in high school, but I believe deeply in my heart that we are measured by more than the sum of our choices and experiences. We are also measured by how we respond to adversity. Or, in the words of General George Patton, "I don't measure a man's success by how high he climbs, but how high he bounces when he hits bottom." PFC Erin McLyman's bounce back culminated when she was awarded a Turnaround Achievement Award in her high school. But even more impressive than finishing high school on time was what Erin did after graduating from high school. She enlisted in the Air Force, continuing a tradition of military service in the McLyman family that stretches from World War I to the Korean War and to the war in Iraq. Erin served as a recruiter in the Air Force, and given her enthusiasm and fighting spirit, it is not surprising that the Air Force would want her to speak to other young women and men about the value of putting on the uniform and choosing service to our country. In her father's words, she made a statement just by her presence. Erin left the Air Force and joined Brian as a soldier in the United States Army, a soldier with mechanical skills the Army needed and her fellow soldiers depended upon. A soldier with grit and courage, a soldier who made her family and everyone else who knew her proud, and a soldier who has now made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. I do not need to tell you how hard it is, and it will be, to get past the grief you feel today. I do not need to tell you that the death of this remarkable, brave, selfless, and warm-hearted woman is a test for us, just as walking into harm's way was a test for her. And I do not need to tell you that my words, or any words, will fall short of easing the pain this terrible loss has brought to Erin's wonderful family and friends. Nevertheless, I want each of you to know that we will miss her. Our state and nation will never be quite as good without her, and the people of Oregon will always remember her and always be grateful to her. I am certain that Bob McLyman's right when he says of his daughter, "The Lord doesn't know what he got. He has a heck of a girl on his hands." The same could be said of another woman warrior who transformed her life, was fearless in battle, and humble before God. I'm talking about Joan of Arc, who once said, "Act and God will act." I believe that God does act, but I must confess that I often do not understand the purpose of those acts. This is especially true when there seems to be no possible explanation for the loss of a 26-year-old woman who learned how to make the most of every moment and proved by her actions that hope lives and life can be better. Still, as I search for the answers to the questions that test our faith, I also believe that our God is a just God, and through prayer, contemplation, and support for each other, we can learn to accept God's greater judgment, even if we cannot understand God's infinite wisdom. We cannot bring Erin back. It is too late for that. She is now in God's hands. But we can honor Erin's life by following in her footsteps and doing what she was born to do and proved beyond any doubt that she was able to do. Stand by each other, do right for each other, and create a better, safer, and more humane world with each other. God bless each and every one of you. God bless the United States of America, and God bless Oregon.